So this
Yes,
one
sir.
is, so it is an extension of this problem. Fifth or fourth or that one. 1 comma a something was there. No? What problem was there? I think 10th lecture. This one. 11th one, sorry. So this is the one they asked. So consider a function 1, 2, 3 to ABC, which is an invertible function. Here it is invertible, right? So for this invertible function, you are asked to prove that f inverse of the inverse of f inverse is f, right? So you can take the same problem and do it as an example. That is also accepted. Okay. So you could have done that. Okay. Shall I start the next chapter? Is there any other doubt from relations and functions that you people have?
No, sir.
Oh, good. So, as the name of the chapter suggests, it is inverse trigonometric functions. Why am I not able to write? Just a minute, okay? My device got stuck. Now it is. So before I start this, okay, before I start this topic, let me explain one thing. What do you think are the prerequisites for you to understand this chapter? There's an easy chapter, okay? Trust me, there's an easy chapter. But what do you think are the prerequisites? What do you think you need to know before we start this? First is, you obviously need to know what is an inverse function. So we know what is an inverse function, right? When can we think of an inverse function to exist? When the given function is bijective in nature. So when it is one-to-one and onto, the function is invertible, then in a particular domain, you can find a particular domain and range where you can define its inverse. Is that, I hope that point is clear. So here you are using the word trigonometric functions. So if I remove this word inverse, we have already studied about trigonometric functions in our 11th standard. So what did you deal there? What was our main concentration in trigonometric functions? Can someone tell me? So you were concentrating on some identities. I can say that, like sine of a plus b is equal to sine a cos b plus cos a sine b. You concentrated on some identities, like you saw what is sine 2x, cos 2x, and all those things, right? So before you concentrated on identities, we need to understand, we should have understood one fact, that trigonometry values are also treated like functions, right? When I say they are treated like functions, what is important for us to know with respect to a function? You need to have a crystal clear clarity about what is the domain and range of a given function, right? That is what we are going to concentrate upon. So now comes an important question. If I talk about trigonometric functions, how many trigonometric functions do we know? How many are existing? There are basically
6.
there are basically 6 trigonometric functions. So if I concentrate on the first trigonometric function, unlike your 10th standard, you would have learned like this: y is equal to sine x, means y is a function of x, right? So if I ask you to define the domain and range of this particular function, what are you going to say? If I say y is equal to sine x, if I ask you to define the domain of it, what do you mean by domain? Means what are all the input values I can give so that I generate a finite output. So what are all the values of x that you can give so that y generates a finite value?
Angles.
Angle is fine. What angle value are you going to give? Don't get reminded of the table. Treat trigonometry also like,
Positive real numbers.
is it only positive real numbers?
Sir, both positive and negative, sir.
Positive and negative.
Any real number, you can give any real number, because sin x, all silver teacups, you remember, no, sin x is positive in the first and the second quadrant, negative in the third and the fourth quadrant. You guys remember this, no? So you give any value of x, whether in the positive side or the negative side, you can find a value in any one of the quadrants. Right? Now the question is, what is the range of sin x? What do I mean by range? I keep giving different values of x to sin, and I get different values of y based on which I can plot a graph. Correct, Ada? I can plot a graph. So when I plot that graph, on the graph sheet, what is the maximum y value I can find? What is the minimum y value I can find with respect to sin x?
1 and minus 1.
So y belongs to -1 to 1. Is it closed bracket or open bracket?
Close bracket.
Closed bracket, sir.
Closed bracket, because -1 will also come as an output, +1 will also come as an output, right? So can I say like this? If I have to write in a more matured way, I will write there is a function f defined from where to where my real numbers to
Minus
Where?
1.
Minus 1, comma 1.
where sin x, where f of x is what? Sin x is defined, right? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
If I ask you y is equal to cos x, then what comes to your mind? Now I need to know what is the domain and range. That is more important for me. Or I will
Domain
say
will be real numbers.
domain will be real numbers. I
Real
can
numbers.
real number. It will give me a finite output, right? X is equal to, I can, x belongs to real number. Where does y belong to?
-1, comma 1. Yes.
It belongs to -1 to 1. Now I extend this concept. I go for f of x is equal to tan x, right? If I say f of x is equal to tan x, I can still write it in the form sin x divided by cos x, right? If I ask you to define the domain for it, what will you say? X belongs to, for sin x I can substitute any real number, for cos x I can substitute any real number. So can I say for tan x also I can substitute any real number?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? But it is wrong. Why?
We can't substitute 0, sir.
You can't substitute. I can't substitute 0. Think about it. I can't substitute a value of x which will generate cos x to be 0.
That's what I meant, sir.
I understood, but I wanted to correct it. I want you need to substitute the value of x from the real. You should not substitute the value of x from the real number system, which will generate cos x to be 0. Then what are all the values of cos x for which a 0 is generated?
90.
See, unfortunately, you guys didn't learn one thing last year. Trigonometric equations was not there. Okay. So I would like to touch this point and come. If I say cos x is equal to 0, most of you will say x is equal to pi by 2. That is 90. I want everything to be in terms of radians now. Have this in your mind, okay? Is it pi by 2 the only value that is going to generate cos x to be 0?
Sir, 2 pi can also come now, sir.
Cos 2 pi is 1.
3 pi by 2, sir.
Pi by 2. Is it only 3 pi by 2 and pi by 2?
5 pi by 2.
5
Oh,
pi
sir.
by 2.
Anything can generate along the positive side. It is positive. I can think of a negative value also. Cos of minus pi by 2 is also 0. Cos
Yes.
of minus 3 pi by 2 is also 0 plus or minus. So from this I'm able to understand one thing. I can substitute any real number except some multiple of pi by 2. What is that multiple of pi by 2?
0.
Pi by 2 is multiplied with 1. Pi by 2 is multiplied with 3. Pi by 2 is multiplied with 5. 1, 3, 5. All these numbers are
Odd
Odd.
numbers.
Odd numbers.
odd numbers are nothing but even number plus 1 or even number minus 1.
2n
Clear?
plus 1.
I can write 2n plus 1 pi by 2. If any book they give it as 2n minus 1 into pi by 2 also, it is right only. So I can substitute any real number except 2n plus 1 into pi by 2 where n belongs to, for all values of n that belongs to integer set. That belongs to integer set. Puriyada? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the important question that arises is, okay, I will not substitute any value which has a pi by 2, which is an odd multiple of pi by 2. By me substituting all these values, what is the maximum value tan can generate and what is the minimum value tan can generate? And y belongs to
1
Infinity,
minus.
infinity.
Infinity to minus infinity.
can generate any real number. Means in the domain set of tan, it can generate any value between minus infinity to infinity continuously. There is no break. Correct? Because tan pi by 2 will give you infinity, which is not included. It is not, pi by 2 is not included in the domain, hence it is not included in the range also. Tan of minus pi by 2 will generate minus infinity. Minus pi by 2 is not included in the range, domain not included in the range. Are you guys able to visualize this? Correct?
Yes,
Sir?
Can you
sir.
repeat, sir?
What should I repeat? Sir?
Sir, what you just said now, sir?
Yeah, I told, see, you are substituting any real number as an input. No? What is the input value that you are excluding?
0.
Yeah. You are excluding all odd multiples of pi by 2. Remember, whenever I talk about trigonometric functions, the inputs are values in terms of radians. No more degrees you are going to deal with. Everything is dealt in radians. That is why I'm writing pi by 2, 3 pi. I hope everybody knows what is radians, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I have not included pi by 2. I have not included odd multiples of pi by 2 in my domain. So when I have not included that value will not get generated in the range also. That is why minus infinity and infinity are having open bracket is what I meant to say. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I will extend it to the other trigonometric function. If I say cosecant x, then what is that going to be? So I can write it as 1 by sin x. I still wrote it in the form of rational. I wrote it as a rational function. So x belongs to any real number except, I should not substitute those values of x which will generate sin x to be 0. So what are all the values at which sin x becomes 0?
0.
I told values. X is equal to 0.
Yes,
What is
sir.
the
X is equal to 0.
sin x is 0, I understood. What is the next value other than 0 that will give me, that is substitute in sign will give me a 0?
180, sir.
That is
2
pi.
pi.
Pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, it keeps on going like this, right? So x is equal to what? Pi, 2 pi, 3 pi. So pi is common. What is multiplied with pi?
N.
Okay, one more point. Plus or minus, plus or minus, plus or minus. Plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3. All these numbers fall under what set?
Natural.
Integers.
Sorry?
Integer.
They fall under the integer set. So I can substitute any real number except n pi for all values of n that belongs to z. Right? Technical way of writing it. And what will be the value of y that it will generate? This is a very tricky part, right? If you tell me, I'll be very happy.
Can you repeat the question?
Listen to this question, okay? I'm saying, what will be the range of cosecant x? If I keep substituting any real number except n pi, what is the limit it can generate on the y-axis?
Infinity to 1, sir.
I'll give you a hint. Sin x can generate a value between what and what?
Minus 1 to 1.
Minus 1 to 1.
Cosecant x will just produce the reverse of it. Means, because it's reciprocal, no? Cosecant, sin x and cosecant x are reciprocal of each other. They are not inverse. They are reciprocal of each other. Reciprocal means a by b and b by a. These are called as the reciprocals. Right? So y will generate any real number except minus 1.
Minus 1 and 1.
Sorry, open bracket. Why I put open bracket? Because cosecant x can generate 1 where? When x is equal to pi by 2. When x is equal to pi by 2, sin pi by 2 is 1, cosecant pi by 2 will also be 1. Guys, are you able to understand this? Right?
Yes,
It is
sir.
not tough. No. It is
Yes,
not tough.
sir.
This is very, very important for me to explain, for me to enter into chapter. If it is tough, please let me know. I'll try to explain a different way. Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Now what I will do is, I will show you a graphical representation of it. Okay, let me try. So I have this thing. Okay. I cleared the board. Okay. I have a function y is equal to sin x. I hope you're able to see a graph. Right? You're able to see a graph. Where did you get these equations? How did you get this graph? Obviously. So how did you get this graph? You give x is equal to 0. You give x is equal to 0. You get y is equal to 0. X is equal to pi by 2. How much is pi by 2, guys?
90.
1 minute. I'll see if I can change to radians. I have to work on this stuff. I'll explore it tomorrow. Okay. So y is equal to sin x is a graph like this. So you are able to see, if I zoom out, the graph keeps continuing till where? The graph keeps continuing from minus infinity to infinity. But if you observe the maximum value of y it is able to generate, it is plus 1. And the least value of y it is able to generate is minus 1. So when is the first time it is going to generate a plus 1? What is this value? I placed a cursor.
1.5.
How much is it?
1.5.
It is pi by 2. So how much is pi by 2? Pi by 2 is 3.14 divided by 2, somewhere around 1.54 something. 1.57 something, right? Similarly, here it is minus 1.57. I hope you're able to understand that point. Right?
Yes, sir.
So my interest of study in this chapter is not about trigonometric functions. Rather, what is my interest?
Inverse of it.
My interest is to study the inverse of it. Right? But the previous chapter, there is one important point I learned, or we learned, that for you to define the inverse of any function in this world, what condition is that function supposed to satisfy?
It should be bijective.
It should be bijective, right? So it should be bijective means I can do a horizontal line test. That is, it should be 1 to 1 and onto, right? Now I talk about y is equal to sin x in its own domain. What is the domain of it? I hope everybody wrote it in your notes. So what is the domain of sin x?
Real numbers.
It is real numbers. So now tell me, in the given domain of the function sin x, is it a one-to-one function?
No.
all values in the codomain doesn't give a real number.
You're talking about onto function. I'm asking about one-to-one function.
No, sir.
But sir, there are say other values which give
You
same
have many
output.
values. See, sin x has reached 1 here for the first time,
Values will repeat, sir.
and here
Output
also
will
it
get
has reached
repeat.
1. You're able to understand, right? So when I keep the cursor at 1, you're able to see that there is a horizontal line which is having 1 at 2 different points. So x is equal to pi by 2 is also giving me a 1, and x is equal to minus of something is also giving me a 1. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to
Yes, sir.
understand? Similarly, I will be
Yes,
able to
sir.
minus 1 and minus 1. Intermediate values are also existing. So it is not a one-to-one function. If I take this horizontal line, this dotted line as the horizontal line, this line is cutting the curve at 1, 2, 3, 4 between this domain. Between like the first two, between minus 4 to 4 itself, it's cutting at 4 points. Like that, if I see from minus infinity to infinity, it will be cutting the graph at infinite number of points. Correct? But the chapter confidently says that you can define the inverse of a function. So for me to do that, what changes am I supposed to do?
We have to limit the codomain values to only one value, sir.
Not codomain.
The domain value.
Domain.
Domain
You
values.
have to restrict the domain where it becomes a one-to-one function. Correct? So let me draw a graph and show. I hope you are able to visualize it, guys. That is more important. I hope you are able to do it right. No confusion till now. No.
No confusions.
No, sir.
Okay, I'm proceeding. See, so if I take the graph of y is equal to sin x, then the graph goes like this. Right? So if I do a horizontal line test, yes, the test is failing. But I can make it a one-to-one function by selecting a particular range of this graph. Means I'm going to create a restriction in its domain like this. Observe, okay? This value is minus pi by 2. This value is plus pi by 2. So if I take this graph alone, if I take this graph alone and draw it again, now this is a part of y is equal to sin x. It is still a part of y is equal to sin x. But what is the only change that we have done here? Here, in the first case, x belongs to R. Here, x belongs to
Minus 1 and 1.
x belongs to what?
Minus pi by 2, pi by 2.
Minus pi by 2 x belongs. Minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, and y still belongs to minus 1 to 1. So if I define y is equal to sin x like this, f is mapped from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 to minus 1 comma 1. Then if I call this f of x as sin x, then how g of x exists? If I call g as an inverse of this function, see, one thing I'm able to understand, it is one-to-one and onto as well. Now try to check whether it is onto. You substitute any value between minus 1 to 1 by writing x in terms of y. Okay, you will still get back a value between minus pi by 2 pi by 2. So here codomain is equal to range. If this is x and this is y, if a function is mapped from x to y, where will the inverse be mapped from?
Y to
Y
X.
to X.
It will be mapped from y to x, minus 1 to 1 to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Okay, are you guys able to understand? Such that g of x can be written as sine inverse x. So sine with a minus 1 on top of it is written as sine inverse x, or more technically they call it as arc of sine x. This is nowhere used in CBSE, okay? They will call it as arc of sine x. If you know this name, it's enough. So the other name for inverse function is arc function also. I can call it as arc of sin x. ARC, arc, the part of the curve, part of the circle. Guys, are you able to visualize this? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Is there anyone still having confusion? Why is no one speaking?
Sir, could
Is
you
everyone
explain
clear?
the g of x part alone?
Sorry, did my voice break?
Sir, Rohan asked to explain that
Explain the
g
g
of
of
x
x.
part.
Which part?
G of x, sir.
Did my voice break? I'm not able to hear. Like, is there any
Sir.
issue from my side?
Sir, can you hear me, sir?
Can someone please message me in the chat box? Is it a common issue for everyone?
Yes, sir.
So please message. Sir, we are able to hear you. Okay. So you are not able to. Oh, I'm not able to hear. I'm sorry. Would have been the issue. Okay. Okay. Just confirm. So just confirm. Rohan's voice is also audible, sir. Okay. Just confirm if everyone is clear with this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So what I've done is, for though see not all trigonometric, not if you see all the trigonometric functions, they are not bijective. Okay, but if you ask me a question, can they be made as a bijective function? The answer is yes. By doing what? Can you explain g of x part, sir? Yes, I will do it. See, if f is a function mapped from x to y, if I call it as invertible, I'm trying to say it is a one-to-one function and onto function. Then there will exist a function g mapped from where to where? Rohan,
Y to x, sir.
g will be a function which is mapped from y to x, correct? Then if g circle f is going to give you an identity function, then f circle g is also going to give you an identity function. Then f and g are said to be the inverse of each other. That is what I try to define. Here, f is sin x. So if sin x is mapped from minus pi by 2 to minus 1 to 1, minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 to minus 1 to 1, and if it is invertible, that is if it satisfies the condition of 1 to 1 and on to, then I am saying there will be an inverse trigonometric function which is existing, which is g, which is technically called as sin inverse x, which will be mapped from where to where? The codomain of sin x to the domain of sin x. That is y to x. Okay, such that what condition will get satisfied? Sin of sin inverse x is x, and sin inverse of sin x is also x. Okay, but the only difference here is, tell me one thing, Doc. If f is sin x, g is sin inverse x, then what does this represent? Sin of sin inverse x represents
F of g of x.
f circle g. Sin inverse of sin x represents g circle of f. So f circle g should give you iy, g circle f should give you ix. So here an important point to be noted here is, sin of sin inverse x is giving you x, and sin inverse of sin x is also giving you x. What does this x belong to, and what does this x belong to? This x belongs to anybody. This x belongs to minus 1 to 1. And this x belongs to,
Minus pi by 2.
are you clear? Are you clear? The biggest confusion I've seen in many people is, they will write it x and leave it, but they don't know where that x comes from. Okay, good. So, guys, this is a very, very important point. Please make a note in your textbook. They'll be giving you this, but nobody concentrates on this point. Okay, please make a note. If something is not clear, please let me know. So I assume that things are clear. Shall I proceed with the next function? Right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now I'll go to the textbook directly. Okay. Now, since you guys got some clarity, I'll directly go to the textbook and I'll start explaining it. Okay, so this is the graph for y is equal to sin x. If you have textbook, you can keep it open. Page number 35 down. Okay, then the graph for sin inverse x will be like this. The graph for sin inverse x will be like this, but important point to be noted here is you need to create a restriction in the domain and the codomain. So sin inverse x will exist only between these values. Am I clear? Next. What can you say about y is equal to cos x? So cos x also belongs to, so cos x belongs to, tell me now, x belongs to real
All
number.
real number.
Y belongs to -1 to 1. But when I draw the value of y is equal to cos x between which values? For all real numbers, what am I getting? I am getting a graph like this. Is this graph telling me that it's a one-to-one function? Is it a one-to-one function?
No, sir.
It's not a one-to-one function. Then how can I make it a one-to-one function?
We have to restrict the value.
Restrict the domain.
I have to restrict the domain. So in the previous case, when I restricted the domain, I restricted it from -π/2 to π/2. Here, I will not restrict it from -π/2 to π/2. Rather, we will restrict it from 0 to pi. The sole reason being that cos x is an odd function, is an even function. So when I say even function will be symmetric about y-axis. So what do I mean by symmetric about y-axis? If you exactly take the y-axis, take like this. Okay, if you take this line and keeping the y-axis as the center, if you fold the graph, no, the graph will exactly overlap. That is the meaning of symmetricity, of being symmetric. Okay, so in this case, what will be the restricted domain for cos x? For cos x, the 0 to pi. 0 and pi, are they included or excluded? They are included. In the restricted domain 0 to pi, what will happen? It will become a bijective function. It becomes a bijective function. But still in this domain, what will be the range that you can generate? Cos 0 is 1. Cos pi is -1. It will still be able to generate -1 to 1. I hope you are able to visualize this.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Tell me.
Sir, why can't we take -π to 0 then, sir? That will also give the same value, right?
If you take -π to pi, for example, I'll erase everything. You see,
-π to 0, sir. -π to 0.
you will try to take as much as possible. You will try to take positive values as much as possible. Okay, that is why I was supposed to tell you the next time. This is called as the principal range. Principal range means where is a function giving you 1 for the first time, where is a function giving you -1 for the first time. So you will be using the word principal. I'll come slowly.
Okay, sir.
Here they would have told the principal value of branches. So I was about to introduce it, but you asked. But I hope this point is clear, no? If you restrict it from 0 to pi, it becomes a one-to-one function. So when you tilt the graph, that is, if the radians become the output and the values become the input, then this will become the inverse function. For this inverse function, where am I supposed to restrict the values? Just like this. So what I'm trying to say is, if cos x is defined from, if I talk about cos, it is defined from 0 to pi to -1 to 1. Where will cos inverse be defined from? It will be defined
-1
-1 to 1 to 0 comma pi.
to 0 pi. Okay. Next. Okay. For you to understand what these values are, let me explain. Okay? Let me give you a simple example. If I ask you what is sin x equal to 0, what did you people say sin x is equal to 0 means x is equal to 0, pi, 0, pi, 2 pi, something like that is there, no? So if I say x is equal to sine inverse of 0, okay, so what all things can you write? So when I write x is equal to sine inverse 0 means, so sine inverse of the value will give me what angle? This x stands for angle. Okay, here observe, no, sin x. When I talk about sin x 0, sine is a trigonometric function. If I label it, x is the angle. Angle in what language? In terms of radian. And 0 is a value. So for a trigonometric function, what should be the input? For a trigonometric function, the input should be an angle in radian for you to generate a value. Guys, are you able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
For an inverse trigonometric function, what should be the input?
Value.
Inverse
Value.
Inverse trigonometric function, the input should be a value and the output will be an angle in radian. Now be very careful. Now I am putting a question like this. When I ask you what is sin x is equal to 0, x is equal to what did you say? X is equal to 0, pi, 2 pi, all these things you told no. But if I ask you what is sine inverse of 0, will you be telling me that sine inverse of 0 is 0, pi, 2 pi, all these things?
Sir.
Answer is no. Sine inverse of 0 is only 0. Why?
Sir,
Because-
that's the given
Because
values.
then function should be
Because-
bijective, no, sir.
Sine inverse, what is the input? The domain is -1 to 1. The range is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Means if I substitute any value in sine inverse between -1 to 1, the output value I am only supposed to write between minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. That is what I call it as restricted domain and range. Purida? Similarly, if I ask you what is sine inverse of half, what will your answer be? So first validation you should do from your side is half there in the domain of sine inverse? Is half a part of the domain of sine inverse? Yes. If that is the case, what value can it generate? So you do a reverse calculation. No, sine of what angle will give me half?
30, sir.
5 by 6.
5 by 6 is the answer. Okay, now you should check. Is pi by 6 between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2? Yes, it is. Hence the answer is only pi by 6. You're able to understand why we are restricting all these things.
Yes, sir.
Right? So that's the meaning. Can I go a little bit fast now? Can I go a little bit fast? Okay. Now what you do is take your notes, prepare a table. Okay, I'm not showing you for all the functions. We will be using the logic and then we will try to write the values. Okay, now see. I will take trigonometric functions this side, inverse trigonometric this side. Okay, I'll be calling domain. Okay, I'll be adding an extra column here. See, I'll call it as restricted domain. So what is the meaning of restricted domain? I need to restrict the domain to make this trigonometric function a bijective function. Then I will get a range. Okay, here what is the domain and here what is the range. So first I will take sin x. So what is the domain of sin x? R. Restricted domain minus pi by 2,
Pi
pi
by
by 2. Restricted range, there is nothing like restricted range, it is -1 to 1. Now what will be the domain of sine inverse? So domain of sine
Minus 1,
minus
1.
pi, and the range will be -pi/2 to pi/2. Here, similarly for cos, domain is real number, but I should restrict the domain between, just now I told you,
0 to pi.
between 0 to pi, where 0 and pi are included, and it is -1 to 1. Then what about the domain for cos inverse? It is -1 to 1 and okay. Now what about tan? Okay, now I'm going to do a different way. I'm going to solve it in a different way. Observe. Clear this. Now you people are going to tell me y is equal to tan x. So this is how the graph will look. Okay. So what is the domain? Real number. I can
Number
substitute
except 2n plus 1 into 5.
1 into pi/2. Because when I substitute 2n plus 1 into pi/2, first pi/2, 1 point something, it is going to infinity. Minus 1 point something, it is going to negative infinity. Correct? Now, how should I restrict? Is it a one-to-one function? How many such blue curves are you able to find? You're able to find many, right? It keeps on going. Between every minus pi/2 to pi/2, I'm able to find a shape like this. I'm able to find a shape like this. Oh, I can't share my screen. Okay. I'm able to find a shape in this way, in the form of this curve. Right? So what should be the restriction I need to create so that it becomes a one-to-one function?
Between minus pi/2 to pi/2.
Perfect. It should be between minus pi/2 to pi/2. Now tell me one thing. Should I include them or not?
We shouldn't include them, sir.
1 minute. New share screen. Okay. I'll make a partition. Minus pi/2 to pi/2 is there. No. Should I put an open bracket or a closed bracket?
Open bracket, sir.
An open bracket. Because minus pi/2 will not give me a finite value, and this will also not give me a finite value. So minus pi/2 to pi/2. What will be the range? Range is still the same. It can give me any value between minus infinity to infinity. Now, what is going to be the domain of tan inverse? So I want
Minus
everybody
infinity to infinity.
minus infinity to infinity, and what will be the domain range of it?
Minus pi/2 to pi/2.
Okay, so here. So this is tan inverse. Now what can I say about cosecant? So for cosecant, I'll show you the graph. You guys have to tell me. Cosecant x. Not sure why it is not accepting. Okay, so cosecant x, I'll do one thing, I'll show it from the graph here. So what should be the domain of cosecant x? This also we discussed, no? You can get any real number except, you can substitute any real number except the values of x for which sin x becomes 0. So what is the answer? R minus
n pi where n belongs to z.
N belongs to Z. Now, you look at the graph now. So, this is the graph of cosecant x. Right. So, this is the graph of cosecant x, and this is a graph of cosecant inverse x. This is the graph of cosecant inverse x. Okay. Now tell me one thing. Where should I restrict the value so that cosecant x becomes a one-to-one function? See, guys, for you to choose that, no, I will explain a simple concept. There are two types of functions. One is called as increasing function and decreasing function. Okay, there is something called as increasing function or decreasing function. So, what do I mean by increasing and decreasing is, this is a graph of sin x, no? 0, pi by 2 is there, no? This is pi. Tell me what is happening to sin x between 0 to pi. First, it is increasing and then it is decreasing. Correct? From pi to 2 pi, what is happening? It is decreasing and then increasing. So for me to make a function as a one-to-one function, I need to choose a particular range or particular values of x where the function is either completely increasing or completely decreasing. That's what we did till now. For example, if you see the restricted domain of sine, I chose the values between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 because it was completely increasing between them. When you see for cos x, I chose the values where it is completely decreasing. Means if it is going down, it is completely decreasing. Now in this case, if you observe, there are only two possibilities. You can either take between 0 to pi or you can check between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So if I check for this function between 0 to pi, what is happening? So 0 to pi, this is the graph. What is happening? It is decreasing and then increasing. Correct, Ada? Guys, are you able to understand? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You're
Okay.
audible.
So it is increasing and decreasing. So sorry, decreasing and increasing. It is going into a dip and then again increasing. Means it's facing a valley, not a peak. Correct? So if I choose between 0, if I restrict the domain between 0 to pi, is it going to be a one-to-one function?
No, sir.
Then the other option I need to check for is between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Right? So if I do a restriction between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, then what is going to happen? From minus pi by 2 to 0, it is decreasing, going down. And from 0 to pi by 2 also it is going down. But an important point to be noted here. At 0, what is happening? At 0, it is not defined at all. Right? At 0, it is not
Yes,
defined because it is nowhere on the graph sheet. It is going till minus infinity and here it is going till plus infinity. So what will be the restricted domain here? You can choose any value between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, closed or open up.
Close, sir.
Closed, except 0. So that what will be my range? My range will still be minus infinity to infinity. I'm able to get a value from minus infinity. See, I'm able to get a value from minus infinity till plus infinity. Right? So what will happen with cosecant inverse? This minus infinity to infinity and minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 except 0. Guys, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Right. So, if at all they give you a question like this, cosecant inverse of 0 is equal to how much? What will you say?
It's not defined.
You cannot generate. Sorry. I made a mistake. Sir, I'm talking, I made a mistake. What is it, guys? We forgot one point. It will give every value between minus infinity to infinity except, that is, it will give you any real number except what? It
Except
cannot give you
zero.
the values between minus 1 and 1. Because see, here there is no graph at all. This area is completely empty. It cannot give you any, it can give you any real number except minus 1 to 1. Now what about the real numbers here? So here it will be real number except minus 1 to 1. Right? So now tell me, cosecant inverse of 0 is not defined because it does not fall in the domain of cosecant inverse. Right?
Yes, sir.
Students, if you're finding it slightly tough, the only reason would have been because last year you couldn't learn the trigonometric functions. All these things come under that topic. Okay, that is why it's taking more time for me to explain. Okay. So R minus, trust me, but the problems are easy. I'm repeating it again. Problems are very easy. Don't worry. This is only the theory part which I need to explain more. So it is taking a long time. Okay, secant, tell me now. You want me to show the graph?
Yes, sir.
Secant x. This is the graph for secant x. So the domain will be any real number except the places where, what is secant x? Secant x is
1 by cos.
1 by cos x, right? So secant x is 1 by cos x. So you can substitute any real number except the values where cos x will generate 0. When will cos x generate 0? Same as tan. So you can substitute any real number except 2n plus 1 into pi by 2. Now what is going to be the domain? A restricted domain. For restricted domain, I need to look at the graph again. So this graph and the graph which I am showing are the same. Okay. So restricted domain will either come between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 or 0 to pi. If you
0
take
to pi, sir.
Why?
Since it increases continuously.
Perfect. So between 0 to pi, it is increasing. Right? So the restricted domain is going to be 0 included or not?
Included, sir.
The restricted domain will be 0 to pi except what is falling under 0 to pi? Pi by 2. Because see, at pi by 2 what is happening? It is going to plus infinity or minus infinity. It is not defined at that point. Okay, so 0 to pi, 0 comma pi to pi by 2, and what is the range? You will get any real number except the values between minus 1 to 1. The range is similar to that of cosecant. Here, now the restricted domain and range will get changed here. R minus of minus 1 to 1. Then what is going to be the range here? 0 to pi except pi by 2 for cosecant inverse functions. Sorry, secant term. The last function is cot. So what is cot? Reciprocal of
Tan.
So reciprocal of tan. So how to find the domain? Guys, make it pretty fast now. So what is the domain? I'll get any real number. I can substitute any real number except so cot x means you should do in your mind cos x by sin x. So I can substitute any real number except the values of x for which sin x is generating 0. Sin x will generate 0 at n pi. So r minus n pi for all values of n that belongs to z. Restricted domain. Restricted domain to make it 1 to 1. So the tan, sorry, cot x.
Minus pi by 2 to pi by 2.
You look at it wherever it is continuous. You can take this, no? You can take these values, Radha.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So restricted domain will be 0 to pi. Why did I write 0 to pi in open bracket?
Because 0 and pi are
Yes,
not
sir.
included.
What will be the range? You will get any real number except, sorry, you will get any real number. Now what will be the domain here? Domain will be R and the range will be 0 to pi. Whatever table I prepared here is what is given here. I hope you are able to understand this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
to make you more confident, what I will do is, I will do some problems so that you will see really is it tough or easy. It took so much time only for us to understand how the graphs work, okay? But let's see how the problems work. Let's do problems in 10 minutes. I think we can complete an exercise also. It's that easy. Okay, only thing is, you should have made a clear note of this table. I hope you guys made it. Right? Now, see.
Yes, sir.
So let me start with the first problem. Find the principal value of sine inverse of 1 by root 2. So sine inverse, till you get practice, sine inverse exists between minus 1 to 1 to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Means it says for sine inverse, if you give the input value between minus 1 to 1, the output value should come out as an angle. So 1 by root 2 lies in the principal range of it minus 1 to 1. Correct? So which value of sine will generate 1 by root 2? So how to solve this? The steps to be followed is, first you need to assume that sine inverse of 1 by root 2 is equal to y. Okay. Then take sine on both the sides. Sine of sine inverse of 1 by root 2 is equal to sine y. But what is sine of sine inverse of x? It is x. So 1 by root 2 is equal to sine y. Now tell me which value of sine will give you
Pi
y
by
is equal,
4.
y is equal to pi by 4. The immediate check you need to do is pi by 4, is it lying between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2? Yes, it is. Correct? Okay. Now, find the principal value of cot inverse of minus 1 by root 3. So, I am having this table in my mind. Cot inverse of minus 1 divided by root 3. So, if I call this as y, okay. So, cot y is equal to 1 by root 3. You understood how I got this? By taking cot on both the sides, I will get cot inverse of minus 1 by root 3 is equal to cot y. So, cot of cot inverse is the angle itself. Minus 1 by root 3 is equal to cot y. So, what value of cot will give you? So, first think like this. So, for cot inverse, I need to find the angle. And what should be the angle that I am supposed to get? I should get an angle value between 0 to pi. The input I can, for cot inverse, I can give the input as any real number. Minus 1 by root 3 is any real number. But the output should come out as 0, come between 0 to pi. right? So what value of cot will generate minus 1 by root 3 between 0 to pi? Okay, let's think like this logically. Okay, first quadrant cot is positive, second quadrant cot is
Negative.
right. So when I say 0 to pi, the angle should be restricted between the first quadrant and second quadrant. So cot y is equal to minus 1 by root 3 means cot is generating negative value. So my angle will definitely be between pi by 2 to pi. So cot y is equal to minus 1 by root 3 means I will write 1 by root 3 is equal to minus cot y. Okay, this is cot of pi minus y. Now tell me what value of cot will generate 1 by root 3? That is easy, no? Tan 30 is 1 by root 3. This will be the same as cot 60.
Yes.
So pi minus y should be equal to pi by 3. Then y should be equal to pi minus pi by 3, which is nothing but 2 pi by 3.
Understood, sir.
Okay. See, there are simpler ways to solve this also. First, I'll go in one method, then I'll tell you how to handle them in an easier way. But as of now, I want the concept to be understood. Is everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now tell me sine inverse of minus 1 by root 2. Sorry, sine inverse of minus half. So y is equal to sine inverse of minus half. By taking sine on both the sides, you will get sine y is equal to minus half. So whenever you have a minus sign, push it to the trigonometric function side. 1 by 2 is equal to minus sine y. Okay. So this will be sine of minus y. So what will be the answer? Sine of what angle is going to give you half?
Five by 6.
5 by 6.
So minus y is equal to pi by 6, which implies y is equal to minus pi by 6. I expected one doubt from you guys. So in the previous problem, when I wrote cot minus cot y, I wrote it as cot of pi minus y. In this problem, when I have minus sine y, I wrote it as sine of minus y. Why didn't I write it as sine of pi minus y?
Because it is restricted to pi by 2 and minus pi by 2.
That is the reason. So, what are all the functions where the angles are restricted to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2? One is sine inverse. Then look at the book and tell me no. What are all the values? One is sine inverse,
Tan inverse.
cosecant inverse, and
Tan inverse.
right. So sine inverse, cosecant inverse, and tan inverse. For all these things, it is between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 falls in which quadrant? They fall in the fourth and the first quadrant. So in the fourth quadrant, any angle is written as sine of minus theta. That is why I wrote it as minus theta. Had the same question been with cos, then you should have written it as pi minus y. Are you able to understand? So for whichever inverse trigonometric function, the principal range is between 0 to pi. Wherever negative sign comes, you will write them as pi minus something. Wherever you have inverse trigonometric functions whose values are restricted between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, then for those functions you will write the sine of minus theta. That is the reason why I wrote it as minus y. Okay, y is equal to minus pi by 6. Keeping the same logic in mind, had the question been y is equal to cos inverse of minus half, then what will your answer be? Cos y is equal to minus half, which implies half is equal to minus cos y. Then cos I should write it as?
Pi minus y.
Have you understood why? Because cos inverse, the domain lies between 0 to pi. So cos of pi minus pi. You learn the same thing in another exercise in a different context. Okay. So cos of pi minus pi. So pi minus pi is equal to how much? Which value of cos will generate half? It is pi by 3. So y will be equal to pi minus pi by 3, which is 2 pi by 3. Yes, 2 pi by 3 is 120 degrees. 120 degrees, it is between 0 and 180 degrees. That is 0 to pi. Are you guys able to understand the logic?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Perfect. Can we do all those problems in a single step? So cos inverse of root 3 by 2. Which value of cos will give you root 3 by 2?
5/6.
That's the answer. Cosecant 2. Cosecant inverse 2.
Pi
So
by 6.
perfect. Cosecant inverse 2 is same as sin inverse half. So pi by 6. Tan inverse of minus root 3.
Pi by 3. Pi by 3.
What is it? No? Tan inverse of minus root 3. Da?
Oh,
So
minus
tan inverse
2
is
pi
like
by 3, sir.
2 pi by 3 கிடையாது. Don't make that mistake because tan inverse has its domain between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2.
Minus pi by 3.
So first find the positive value and put a minus sign to it. So y is equal to tan what is it you told me?
Minus pi by 3.
Very good. So minus tan y is equal to root 3. So minus means for tan inverse what should I do? I should write it as tan of minus y is equal to root 3. So minus y will be equal to pi by 3. Y will be minus pi by 3. Cos inverse of minus half. I solved it already. Two pi by 3. Right. So tan inverse of minus 1.
So is it
Minus pi by
minus pi by 4?
Minus pi by 4.
Perfect, guys. Perfect. So everybody is clear with this, right? So secant inverse of 2 by root 3. Pi by
6, sir.
perfect. I hope everybody understood pi by 6. Why it is pi by 6? So one logic I'll tell you, secant inverse 2 by root 3 is same as cos inverse of root 3 by 2. Why it is so, we will see it in the next exercise. So I work like that, okay? So where will cos give you root 3 by 2? It is at pi by 6. So cot inverse of root 3. Which quadrant? First quadrant or fourth quadrant? So cot inverse means 0 to pi. 0 to pi is first quadrant and second quadrant. Cot inverse root 3. Which quadrant?
First.
First quadrant. What is the answer?
Pi by 3.
Cot inverse root 3 is tan inverse how much?
Pi by 6.
Pi by 6. But no problem, even if you're not able to do it fast today, no issue. Don't worry, take some time to absorb this concept. So cos inverse of minus 1 by root 2. Which quadrant will it
3 pi
belong
by
to?
4.
How much? 3?
3 pi by 4.
Very good. So cosecant inverse of minus root 2.
Minus pi
Minus
by
pi by
6.
4.
Minus pi
By 4.
Very good. Right. So this is how you solve the problems. And these problems I'll do it tomorrow. And remind me, I'll tell you an easier way to find all these things tomorrow. I didn't explain it today because I want to give you some time to absorb the concept. I know it would have been a little stressful today, but please go through the concepts once again before tomorrow's class, or else you're not going to understand. Again, trust me on that aspect. Go through the concepts. If there is any doubt, we'll start the first 5 to 10 minutes in tomorrow's class with doubt session. After which I will tell you an easier way to find all these values. Okay. Then we'll go to the properties and some identities. Maximum 2 to 3 more classes will be done with this chapter. Okay. And one more point I wanted to know is, if any one of you is having a problem with trigonometry last year, trigonometry functions last year, I want you guys to let me know personally. Okay. You guys either let me know personally or you enter it in the feedback form. Like go to the attendance tab and enter it in the feedback. If you guys have problem with trigonometry, I will think of how to work on it. Okay. So please let me know. Don't miss
Only
it.
the identities, no, sir.
Whatever issue you have, enter it there. Okay, because I want to have a consolidated data. It is then I'll understand how many of you have problem. Based on that, I will arrange something. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's it from my side, guys. If you guys have any doubt, if you want to ask me now, you can ask, or else you can ask me personally also. I hope everybody made the note of the student support number. Right? So I'll see you all tomorrow. Shall we
Thank you,
wind up?
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Thank you, sir.